The Mangalorian is on the air, folks. Danny, joined by Jordan as always. And last week, we had one hell of a cliffhanger in Volume 26. As Krillin was killed, Goku transformed with a new transformation, and it's the debut of Super Saiyan. Without question, the most iconic form in Shonen. In
Yep.
case many of you missed it, earlier, well, yesterday on Twitter, I posted that in one of the drafts for the Kang Dynasty, which is canceled now, so it's not going to happen. But in one of the drafts, they refer to Wonder Man getting a power up, saying it's Super Saiyan like. Listen, the fact that Marvel has addressed Dragon Ball, you don't see Marvel addressing Naruto. You don't see the MCU talking about One Piece. I'm sorry, but this is not a biased thing. Like, Super Saiyan is maybe the most iconic transformation, maybe in anime history. I mean, and manga history. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And yet, it's so simple. It's such like Goku before could become a great ape. This is just a change of hair color and a spike, yet it's so instantly recognizable. Sonic the Hedgehog has borrowed from Dragon Ball. There's been parodies in other cartoons. There's been Slipknot songs discussing this. Like, isn't it the
Bruce
wildest
Leroy.
shit?
Bruce Leroy. But anyway, yeah, like there's all
Bruce
kinds of
Leroy.
there's all kinds of like really similar things that had happened prior to Super Saiyan, like in Fist of the North Star. There's like different things where like somebody would get an aura and they would power up and stuff like that. But Super Saiyan was the coolest version of that we ever got, paired with the scene and the build up and the hints at the concept of a Super Saiyan, because I can only imagine back in the day reading this as it was running, being told about the Super Saiyan and then finally getting to see it, especially after Krillin got killed. That would be insane. So yeah, there's no wonder it's so iconic. Like
It's just something that it can't even be described. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody, even people who don't watch or who don't watch anime and don't read manga, everybody knows what it is. Let's pop open the manga, folks. We're going to do volume 27. This is the second half of the Frieza fight. We are going to finish off the Frieza saga today. So Frieza saga will end today. Volume 27 starts with chapter 318, the legendary Super Saiyan. Right then and there, we actually start with Gohan. Goku has ordered Gohan to take Piccolo away. Goku is very, very angry right now. Very, very pissed off. And here, Frieza's like, what is this? This is not like the Great Ape. They can only become an Uzaru. Even Goku doesn't know what the hell's going on, but he's angry. He's got
I
that
don't
rage
think
there.
Goku knew that he was like necessarily in a transformation per se. Like I don't think like I knew he definitely would feel more powerful and he would definitely feel the boost of anger. But in terms of like the appearance and all that stuff, like I don't know. It doesn't seem like he would be aware of that. So that makes it even more interesting.
I don't think he even knew what he had inside of him. I think this is the culmination of everything he had inside of him, the hard training, the incredible, rigorous training he put his body through, and that tapping into the rage, which is important. And
Right.
I want to address this because I know it's going to come up later. There is a line in the English dub that brings my piss to a boil where Goku tells Gohan it comes from a need, not a desire. And I fucking hate that line because it's not in the Japanese version. It's something the dub made up, and it's nothing to do with needs or desires. It's just anger.
Yeah.
So I love this part right here. Goku grabs Frieza's hand and squeezes it. When I first saw I'm getting sick of you, heartless scumbag, I love the way Toriyama draws Goku's face here. You've killed countless innocent people, even Kuririn. I loved when I first saw this is from Dragon Ball Z episode 96, the anime version, one of my favorite episodes. The first time I ever saw this was fan subbed, and Goku called, it was Anime Labs, so Goku calls Frieza a piece of shit, which is not in the Japanese at all, but it sounded so cool, bro. And Gohan's over here like kind of marking out. And
I'd be marking out too, bro. If my dad transformed into that, I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, I actually fucked up and read it left to right. Gohan's leaving, then he's about to kill Gohan, then Goku gets in the way. So my bad, I read that left to right instead of right to left. So Frieza doesn't even know what the hell's going on. He's like, where'd you get this kind of power? And Gohan realizes that he's emotional, like, you know, it's happened. And this scene right here, I mean, that's just one of the iconic panels. I think that you and I, if I remember correctly, were thinking about using this as the thumbnail for this stream back before we even started the series.
Yeah.
It's such a good
talked about it.
I mean, it's a perfect art, bro. Like this image right here is perfect. You know,
it is. Yeah, that's the Toriyama. Of course, this isn't necessarily the sole establishing shot, but he really likes to use establishing shots to build up the hype. And it's very similar to how how the anime staff would like draw out transformations and power ups and stuff like that. Sometimes by using more than one establishing shot, it really gives you an idea of like the character's appearance, their demeanor, and stuff like that. And like the way Toriyama drew Goku here, like you can see like literally how ferocious he is, how powerful he is, and just overall like how different he is while he's a Super Saiyan in comparison to a lot of. Because the thing is that's something you want to call attention to, is like the major change in Goku, and I think this art really does a good job drawing attention to that.
It's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful shot. All right, so here comes Goku on the attack. Now there isn't that some of this stuff is not going to really be much for me and Jordan to break down any Journey to the West stuff or any of that Chinese influence stuff. A lot of this volume is combat, but it really shows Toriyama's an incredible ability to draw fights. And I do feel like, yes, the anime fight drags, and that's because there's a lot of extra stuff, but the manga, just I feel, my opinion, every single panel of this fight is like glorious. Like any single one you can rip out, you can put on a wall, you can practice your drawing. Like it's great.
There is something really cool I could talk about when it comes to like chi, like the concept of chi.
Talk about it, but look at this left hook to the jaw, bro. Look at the way he bent Frieza's neck.
Yeah.
He fucked this shit up. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm getting excited.
You're all good, man. So you remember that interview where Toriyama was talking about all the different forms of ki that Goku accessed as a result of like different mindsets and like, like courage and
it's all like and it's not even a Goku thing. It's a Japanese like belief thing.
Yeah, so you always hear me talking about Chinese internal alchemy. Genki is a term from the Japanese equivalent of that. So the Japanese have their own version of that. They have their own version of eternal alchemy where you make your chi stronger. And that term Genki is from the Japanese version of that concept. So they also believe that, just like the Chinese, that you can like empower yourself using your ki. And that's essentially what we're seeing Goku do here. He's essentially now he isn't just powering up due to rage. That is part of it because rage causes adrenaline and adrenaline causes ki. That is a big part of it. But also it's the fact that he has the ability to control himself through his anger to a degree that also makes him more powerful. And that's something that Toriyama was kind of trying to get at in that interview, is that due to Goku not only experiencing this rage, but also all of these other profound feelings and kind of trying to control himself through his power, he's producing more chi because, yes, he's getting chi from adrenaline, but he's also got the focus of a martial artist in that sense. Like go ahead.
What? No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so like it's not people in Toriyama's mind, people like to think that he thought about this as just the standard 50 times multiplier that like a lot of the fandom thinks about, but that's not how he was thinking about this at all. He was thinking about this from a very martial arts based perspective, and he was really thinking about all the different individual components that causes martial artists themselves to build up their ki and use it in combat. So I just find that very interesting.
Okay, so yeah, to clarify what you're talking about, Toriyama said in an interview there's at least three parts of ki: Genki, Yuki, and Shoki. Genki is like basically health energy. Yuki is courage, is what you were talking about, and Shoki is right mindedness.
Yeah,
And that was from Toriyama himself.
yeah,
Now I love how Goku is just pounding him, getting some big shots in, which he was unable to do earlier in the fight. Remember, Frieza's now at 50%. You act so high and mighty as if you believe the Saiyans have never killed an innocent before. I actually really love this conversation. He's
yeah,
like, that's why we perished. And I'm the one who's responsible for that. I was never able to stomach the Saiyans. This goes back to the conversation we had last week about Beerus being thrown in here. I do not like it. Look, the elephant in the room that I think people are afraid to say, and I'm saying this with complete respect to Toriyama, a lot of his retcons are not very good. A lot of his modern retcons, I'm not a fan of. Though obviously, you and I, Jordan, disagree on the Bardock thing from Super. We probably disagree on this. I agree that some of his retcons are great. I really do. They improve the story, but a lot of them, like for me, and we talked about it last week, this takes away from Frieza's character because I love that. No, fuck Beerus. I did this because you people disgusted me, but really, it's because I was afraid of this. So,
yeah.
and Goku says, now it's your turn to join them. Very, very alpha, bro. And then here he is smiling, bro.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a vicious smile.
Now, God, these panels are all great. I will say this. I'm going to all say this. I know a lot of Dragon Ball purists who will not read the full color versions. They'll read the black and whites. I think this needs to be read in the full color. I think the full color version of this fight in particular, I
Yeah,
think it's the best. I think, bro, it's the best way to read it because the colors look beautiful.
they do. They look really good. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, and there's more than just this, but I mean, specifically, this is one of the times where I think the full color really
Yeah, the
helped.
way Namek's designed and the way
The
the
colors.
colors of Super Saiyan kind of like contrast the environment as well as Frieza, because the environment's so green and blue that when you see Goku and Frieza, they stand out so much because of their colors. So yeah, it really does. It's a great aesthetic. I agree.
And before anybody asks, I'm sure someone's going to ask this. I'm positive. Why hasn't Viz released the rest of the full colors? Because we've been using the full colors to cover the entire manga, not just Z. Viz, as of right now, has only released the Saiyan Saga and the Frieza Saga in full color. There's nothing from original Dragon Ball, like nothing of the Piccolo stuff, and no Cell and no Boo. I asked Viz years ago where it's at, and they said Shueisha. It's all Shueisha. If you want to know why Super's not coming back, it's Shueisha. If you want to know why we're not getting full colors, it's Shueisha. If you want to know why Dragon Ball Super's manga is taking so long, it's Shueisha. Every
Yeah.
day that goes by, I hate that company, and I will always hate them because they don't deserve Dragon Ball. I don't think they deserve it. It's just annoying. So, anyways, man, Goku's over here says, "I refuse to show you any mercy," which he does show mercy later on.
Yeah.
So, and I
Yeah.
love this. He
A
uses
lot of
a force.
people a lot of people ignore the fact that Goku is teetering between two different people here. So you can't really take everything he says at face value because like he's part of him wants to destroy Frieza and be unmerciful and be as ruthless and aggressive as the Saiyans have always been. And that's what makes this fight so significant is that like everything that the Saiyans used to embrace and used to be is what Goku is facing right now, not just metaphorically or emotionally, but like physically. Like he's biologically facing the effect that, well, in some sense, the effect that the Saiyans themselves kind of embraced, that they loved like they loved the thrill and the adrenaline of battle, and that's part of what brought the evil nature of the Saiyans out was the fact that they did love combat and they did love hurting people and they did love the adrenaline that comes with battle, and that's kind of what Goku is experiencing here, but just through rage instead of like basic combat. Like the
what
rage.
you're saying is he's trying to be a martial artist and be a controlled, calm fighter, but his anger, and which is multiplied by the fact he's a Super Saiyan, is making him more instinctual and more animalistic, right?
Yeah, right. That's exactly right.
I'm just trying to like summarize this so that people understand. Like, I mean, I understand you, but I mean, like, just I know what you're trying to say.
No, I appreciate it. You do a great job.
He force pushes this motherfucker, right? And then we're on to the next chapter. This is going to move by pretty quickly because there's a lot of fighting. Frieza's first taste of humiliation and despair. DBZ96, one of my favorite episodes. This is the manga version of it. Frieza doesn't know what to do. He pushed him back with the force push. Here comes Goku with a flying elbow. Then an uppercut to Frieza's grill piece. I mean, Frieza, and you have to remember, this is Goku with Super Saiyan, so it's not like it's Goku punching him in base or Goku punching him in Kaioken. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. Again, another
basically a god here. Like
basically, here's another iconic shot. I might post on X today a list of like iconic Super Saiyan panels.
There's so many.
Especially
went so hard. He went so hard.
Look at this headbutt to Frieza's back. I don't even think that was in the anime. And then here Frieza tries to fight him back. Goku blocks all his shots because being a Super Saiyan not only makes Goku stronger, his reflexes are up, his speed is up. You got to remember, whenever there's a new transformation, it just like with Kaioken, it enhances everything. So even Ultra Instinct was sort of like I guess you can say like the peak of that, because now he's doing everything instinctual. His speed is at its absolute best, but every transformation increases your speed and power that we know of, except for
it even increases
stamina issues.
We talked about that. It even increases your sight too. We talked about that last week with Gohan.
I need that shit, bro. I need that shit. All right, so here, this is one of the best scenes ever. He blasts Goku with the death beam, and Goku dodges, which that's never happened before. Nobody's ever been able to dodge that because Frieza is super fast with it. I actually have a video that he edited for me that's been done for 3 years now in my archive called Frieza Death Beam Explained, where I actually go into how this move works in detail. And the only reason why I haven't uploaded it is because I was waiting for the Black Frieza stuff to start. And here we are 3 years later.
Damn.
And we still don't have Black Frieza. We're still sitting here with our dicks in our hand, which, by the way, pisses me. Thank you, Shueisha, again. So I've got a video explaining this and comparing it to the Dodonpa.
Yep. I remember you telling me about that. I can't believe it's been 3 years. That blows my mind, bro.
That's the first video that he ever did for me.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know?
I remember that very
It's the first one. Yeah. K Cruiser. So SSJ is like Kaioken with no drawbacks. It's a transformation, so I don't want to say it's like Kaioken. Kaioken's a technique, but I guess you're right. Let's get to these super chats real quick. It was at this moment Frieza knew he fucked up, right? He fucked up, right? Did I get it right this time? I guess you did. Yes, you are correct. Enigma Music. If they ever decide to dub the rest of, or to dub the rest of Super's already been dubbed, bro. Do you think they'll use Linda Young for Frieza since the other voice?
I think he means like more super content, like more.
No. Super's already been. He says dub and he brings up Linda Young, brother. Linda Young is not playing Frieza ever again, bro. Like let go of that shit. Frieza's when Chris Ayres died, Damon Mills took over as Frieza. Right. Damon Mills will be playing Frieza from now on. Linda Young is not coming back to play Frieza.
He doesn't know much about what's been going on, huh?
No, he doesn't, because it's been this way now for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damon Mills is playing him. So, Goku dodged it. So Frieza blasts him more times. And then this is the most alpha, maybe the most alpha part of this whole thing. Damn you, if I could just land a single shot, go ahead and hit me. Alpha, bro. Alpha, bro.
Yeah,
This
dude.
dude said Linda Young was an excellent voice for Frieza. No, she wasn't. No, she was not. Frieza should not sound like a 70-year-old lady, bro. No, she's not. So
I like how, like, Goku being kind of.
and I love Linda.
I
Go ahead,
love
bro.
that Goku being kind of not necessarily out of character, but like being like his more I guess you could say vicious aspects. I like how those being exaggerated and fueled by the situation are what ultimately ends up in the future breaking Frieza's spirit and causing him to practice martial arts. I think that's very interesting. Yeah.
I love it. And I'm a big fan of overconfident Goku. So here, Frieza's like, you dare to mock me, you'll regret those words. And he fires it and hits Goku in the jaw. Straight up hits him right in the face, bro. Now, here we go. This is the speech. The one that the dub completely butchered. Completely butchered. And made Goku into Captain America. You can destroy entire planets, but you can't seem to destroy me, a single person, can you? What are you? You've known all along, haven't you? I am a Saiyan who came here all the way from Earth to defeat you. I am Son Goku, the a warrior from legend possessing a serene heart and awakened by rage. I am Son Goku, the Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Son Goku. I think he says in the original translation, Super Saiyan Son Goku.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't catch on to why he talks about having a serene heart and then goes to rage. That's the dual aspect of Goku's nature that he's like Goku himself is like pointing it out to you that like as an earthling he has a calm heart and a serene nature, but he's been awakened, his inner Saiyan nature has been awakened by his rage. That's basically what he's saying there when he talks about how he possesses a serene heart and then he's awakened by rage. He's basically talking about how he had that rage summoned due to the fact that he was raised as an earthling and had compassion for Krillin, right? If it wasn't for the compassion that he had for Krillin because he was raised on Earth, it would have been really hard for him to tap into this power, So just wanted to expand on that a little bit.
I want to get these questions. People are asking about Linda Young. Okay, I don't want to focus on Linda Young because we're going to be here for 3 hours again. But I'm going to answer this question so we can move on. Why did Linda voice Frieza? Is it because Funimation thought Frieza was a woman? No, not a single script, even in the Funimation censored dub or the Ocean dub, ever refers to fucking Frieza as a woman. The original voice actress for Frieza from the Ocean dub was Pauline Newstone, who passed away a few years ago, unfortunately, right? And then what happened was when Funimation went in-house, they hired Linda Young because Linda Young sounded like Pauline Newstone. Now, why was Pauline hired to play Frieza? I don't know, because an old lady is not what Frieza should sound like. So I just don't want to, like, y'all are asking questions about, like, the dubs and shit, and I just can't stay here for too long on it because last week we went an extra hour over, and I just can't, like, these are questions that I've already answered. See, look, okay, why did the dub change this iconic speech? Why did the dub change anything, bro? Why did the dub ever change? We talk about this every week, dude. Why did the dub change everything? Why? Yeah. Why did your guess is as good as mine, bro. Your guess is as good as mine because they wanted to fucking make it more kidified and censored because they think that you Americans are stupid. That's why. Like, fuck. That's what. And enough with the dub, bro. Like, I don't want to talk about the dub today. Like, if you want to talk about the dub, join me on Twitch on Saturdays, okay? Like, these questions, like, why'd they do it? I wish I knew. I genuinely wish I knew. Trust me, I wish I knew. Justin says, what an inspiring quote in the Kai dub. There's that word again. No, I remember when Sean Schemmel did the speech, I got goosebumps from how badass it was. Yes, Sean's performance was good. Sean's performance was good. But bottom line is the Z dub is trash because they changed this shit. And the reason, let me explain real quick. The reason as to why this should not change. As to why changing this was fucking stupid is because this speech right here that Goku gives Frieza, this is completely the end of Goku's character arc as far as accepting his roots. When Raditz first came to Earth, we covered this in numerous Mangalorians a few weeks back. Goku did not want to accept that he was a Saiyan, a Saiyajin, a Saiyan. He didn't want to accept it. He did not want to accept it.
And
Therefore,
even if he knew, he didn't care, right? Like, even if he was like, you know what, you're right. He was like, it doesn't matter. I'm not like you guys at all, essentially.
yeah, right. Now that Goku's felt this power, things have totally changed. Now he has accepted what he is and realizes that he needs to become this in order to beat Frieza. It's almost like Goku was destined to become this.
Yeah.
And because Toriyama is a discovery writer, I don't even know if he had even thought of giving the form to Vegeta and Gohan at this time. It might have just been a Goku thing at first.
Probably not. But what I started to say was this also explains a lot about Goku's character. So, like, for example, this isn't people could look at it like it's foreshadowing, but it's not. Part of the reason that like Ultra Instinct is Goku's Earthling form is because of his ability to have like a natural serene heart, which Goku like mentions here. That's something that he got from Earth. So every time he goes Ultra Instinct, that's like an exaggerated form of the control that Goku has over himself when he's a Super Saiyan. It's like taking the aspect of Goku's personality that allowed him to be able to control his rage and exaggerating it to its like greatest point. That's essentially what Ultra Instinct is. It's like that control exaggerated and completely separated from Super Saiyan. Whereas like Super Saiyan, it's literally like one form brings out his nature as an Earthling, one form brings out his nature as a Saiyan. Like the forms literally exaggerate aspects of Goku's personality and his psychology. And this form, particularly the original Legendary Super Saiyan introduction, is so well done, at least in my opinion, because it really is like a perfect balance of those two aspects of Goku. But what I started to say whenever you were talking about Goku accepting being a Saiyan, the one difference is that unlike Vegeta, he doesn't embrace a misunderstanding of what the Saiyans are, right? Like Vegeta's issue was
unpack that for me, please.
Yeah, Vegeta's issue was the reason that he failed is because he essentially the Saiyans themselves had been humiliated by Frieza. That caused Vegeta to act out in a way that essentially wasn't characteristic for the Saiyans normally, because normally the Saiyans just enjoy battle. They just want to fight. They don't have any real like evil motives for trying to defeat their opponents in most cases. They just love to kill and fight and enjoy combat. And the revenge that Vegeta felt that he wanted by killing Frieza was getting in the way of his true nature as a Saiyan. So that aspect of the Saiyan's personality, the conscious like need for revenge and the need for self-gratification, is what got in Vegeta's way that basically stopped him from being able to defeat Frieza.
The way that he was raised, yeah.
Yeah, whereas Goku, he, without even realizing it, through finding this balance, is kind of not only alleviating the mistakes that Vegeta and the people of that era made in terms of their people, but he's also like kind of finding an aspect of himself that more resembles what the Saiyans actually are. And that makes it, very interesting.
No, I love it. I mean, I feel my opinion, and this, okay, look, the Frieza saga is not my favorite arc. Frieza is my favorite villain, right? But the Frieza saga is not my favorite arc. I still prefer the 23rd tournament and the Saiyan saga. But I think the best buildup to a fight was Goku versus Frieza. I think from the very beginning of this arc, whether you're reading the manga, watching Z or Kai, it doesn't matter what version you're watching, Toriyama, and this is something that pro wrestling fans are going to understand. When you ask somebody once asked Ricky Morton how to book, which basically means how to tell a story in wrestling. This applies to Dragon Ball 2. You take a baby face, you take a heel, they beat everybody up until they meet. Let's rewind for just a moment. Let's look at what we've already covered this in previous Mangalorians. Frieza has defeated Piccolo in a fight. Gohan killed Krillin, defeated Vegeta, right? Pretty much all of Goku's allies have been beaten or killed by Frieza, right? Goku comes in, defeats the Ginyu Force all on his own, and is now set to go against Frieza. So Toriyama booked this arc to where he gave Frieza and Goku legitimately good wins.
Yeah.
Big wins in preparation for them to meet in the big climax. And even though other arcs, one thing I like about the Frieza saga, and we're going to talk more about this when we get to the Cell and Buu arcs, but the Frieza saga stands different than other sagas because, yes, Gohan versus Cell was built up, but very subtly. That was a very subtle buildup. In the Majin Buu arc, the buildup changed because Toriyama was sort of playing with the ending a little bit. But with the Frieza saga, Toriyama knew from day one, I'm going to end this with Goku versus Frieza. He knew. He had it planned. Not to say that he had the Super Saiyan part planned, but he knew that was going to be the ultimate fight. And that's good.
And everybody has heat for each other that's built up the entire arc.
Now you're using wrestling terms.
Yeah,
now you're using wrestling terms.
So, like, for example,
you've learned a lot from me.
Yeah. Gohan attacks Dodoria, like, right off the bat because of what they're doing to the Namekians. Right. That causes a grudge in Gohan's case. And then, you know, there's the fact that the Ginyu Force was involved with the destruction of Planet Vegeta, which also makes them involved in this whole thing and weaved into this web of, like, you know, war between two different factions. And then I think the thing that makes Frieza and Goku the most interesting out of all that, though, is the fact that they don't know each other. And yet,
right.
And yet, like, and
Vegeta knew Frieza all his life.
Right. But it's the fact that they don't know each other. But Frieza is such an exaggerated form of evil and destruction and despair. And Goku is such an exaggerated form of, like, hope that they like when they come together, it's like, oh, like this is literally like the most evil of the evil that we've seen so far, and, you know, a righteous hero, you know, facing each other. It really, it's very well done. Like, despite the fact that Goku and Frieza don't know each other that much, simply the fact that their personalities clash so much makes this fight, like, extremely interesting.
Yeah, and I want to, and I did do a video called, I think it's called The Genius of Goku versus Frieza, where I go into a lot of this. Yeah, but I do want to discuss this right here. I'm going to ask you a question and the chat. So Frieza says, because Goku's like, tell him, you know, him becoming a Super Saiyan, he's like, a serene heart awakened by rage, was it? I suppose that would explain how Vegeta was never able to become one. Now, let's try to here's what I want you to do. Take away, forget about the S cells and forget about what Vegeta says.
Think about how Toriyama was thinking about it at the time, right?
Sort of, but there's more. Forget what Vegeta said in the next arc about, oh, I have a pure heart, but it's evil.
Yeah.
What do you think about this explanation? Because to me, this is good enough. This is good enough. That I love this because here's the way I feel about it. I love it because most of the Saiyans were not pure-hearted. A lot of them were genuinely bad people. There were a few good ones. Most of them were bad. And the fact that it took one of the last remaining, forget Broly for just a minute. Let's go back to 1990. Forget Broly and Tarbell. Let's go back to 1990. What do I always say on these streams? Context is king. When the last remaining Saiyans right now are Goku and Vegeta, and that's it. Forget anybody else that Toriyama came up with later. I feel like this makes perfect sense. Vegeta had the wrong idea. Goku didn't even know. He stumbled upon this transformation just because of what the Earth did to him.
That's right.
Think good enough. And I think if you take the Frieza saga in and of itself, I think it works even without anything else. So what do you think?
Right. 100%. Like, and this is further hammering home that, you know, Goku being raised on Earth and being the compassionate person that he is by nature is what's important here. Like, I agree with you. Like, it on its own, it does stand. And this is something that a lot of people ignore about Super Saiyan. You know, I've had people tell me that the pure heart, the serene heart thing's not a thing, and that's just not true. Like it is a thing. It's just Toriyama had to kind of play with the concept if he was going to give other people Super Saiyan, and that's what the whole pure evil thing is. It's just like Toriyama being like, how can I reframe this to where
it's a retcon, but it works.
Well, it works because he's essentially he's doing real work and studying what it means to be pure evil and have a pure heart and just be a good person, and like he's doing actual research into what all these concepts and things mean, and that's the reason it works. But I think that this right here particularly is important and something that people should keep in mind for the rest of the series, that Toriyama was trying to be consistent with this, despite the fact that the like pure evil thing seems as though it doesn't.
I mean, it's a cool line.
Right. You have to understand what pure evil is. I'm not going to go into all that. We'll go into that whenever we get into
when we get to the end.
But Toriyama does try to be consistent with this. Like even in the S-Cells thing, he talks about how like when Saiyans develop a good nature, they develop more S-Cells, and he's essentially alluding to this there as well. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Make sure you watch Super Saiyan Explained on the channel because I go into all that shit in detail. Let me get a couple of these super chats real quick, yo. Kool-Aid Flores says, lost opportunity not seeing Ultimate Gohan as a child in Daima would have sold a lot of toys. There's a lot of lost opportunities in Daima, bro. And I suppose you're right about that. I think people would probably buy the toys. So there's a lot of that. Hopefully they stick the landing in the coming weeks. JFire88, think SSJ would have same impact of original design. I think he's talking about, when he says original design, do you think he's talking about the white hair and the red eyes? Because that's printed though. Like that wasn't something that Toriyama just wrote down that never actually made the publication.
Yeah, they've made toys of that. Like it's still used and implemented.
Well, not just, well, even before all that, what I'm trying to say is we're reading the full color manga, and in the full color versions, whoever colored it went with the anime colors. But if you read the original Toriyama manga, if you read the Tankoban or the Kanzenban versions, which I can pull up sometime, I can pull them up today, but we don't have time. Goku with the white hair and red eyes is still there. The blonde hair, blue eyes wasn't a thing till the anime. So it's still there. It's still there. And so if you're reading
people love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the point is that not only would it have gotten over, it did get over. Like, you know, so it doesn't matter which version you like more. I like them both, but it doesn't matter if you like the gold hair or the white hair. I actually might like the gold hair a tiny bit more, but it's still iconic. Like it would still, that's all we had in 1990 before the anime came along.
Yeah, and I prefer the yellow just because I think it's more consistent with the fact that Toriyama's like he makes chi yellow, and he uses yellow to express, you know, the idea of chi. Yeah, so I think, you know, it's more consistent with that, and that's why I prefer it. But the white hair and the red eyes does look really cool. So
Highball's comment here about Toriyama using limited colors, Trunks SSJ is red, for example. So I don't know if we can say it's the original design. Well, they're not mutually exclusive. Everything you said is true. Toriyama was using limited colors, but those are the colors he chose. You understand what I'm saying? And then later on, he changed it. When Vegeta went Super Saiyan, if you want to know more about that, I have lots of videos on this channel. I have a video called Super Saiyan Red Eyes Explained that goes into all that, the whole backstory. I think I was the first guy to ever cover that on the channel. So here Frieza's losing his fucking mind because now the legend is real. Goku's over here like, it's over, you're finished. Gohan's going to go get Bulma, right, to get the fuck off the planet. And now Goku's preparing to fire a Kamehameha that is sure to kill Frieza. Sure to kill Frieza. And he says, if I am to be killed by the white likes of you, I choose to die by my own hands. Now, this is an important important character moment for Frieza. Very important character moment for Frieza.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out why in a minute. Suit yourself then. And then he says, but I love this panel. This panel was recently redone in Daima. Did you remember they showed that flashback to Frieza?
That. Yeah.
And it was this panel. It was this
that
panel.
Art looked awesome too.
Yeah, really... Kubota redrew it. But you won't be able to kill me because you're the one who's going to die. I can survive in the vacuum of space, but you can't. So Frieza decides, fuck this. If I'm going to lose to this fucking guy, I'm going to make sure he dies. This is a very, very... Basically, Frieza's telling him, I'm going to destroy this planet. Right? And you can't survive in space and I can. So even if you kick my ass, I'm going to live and you're going to die. That is in line with Frieza's character, which is why, again, I criticize the Beerus retcon, because this is what Frieza does. Frieza's petty, Frieza's a coward, and he wants to have the last word. He wants to have the last word, bro. And that's why he did it. He's like, fuck it. I'd rather you die even if you kick my ass, because I'm going to live. I'm going to go on.
Right. Yeah, and, this also explains why Frieza blew up the planet in ROF. It's just, the thing is like...
Yeah, he did it there too.
What interests me
he's a sore loser, Jordan.
What interests me about this is it really brings up the stakes for Goku in a way where it kind of encapsulates his love of combat that much more. And it also makes it to where, okay, so I've talked about this before. When Goku does something, or any of the characters do something that the plot itself considers wrong, they're punished for it, right? And Goku is like on the verge of doing something like that more so than he ever has been in his life. He's on the verge of betraying his values as a martial artist more than he's ever been in his life. So to me, not only are the stakes really high due to that, because Goku's having a psychological battle, and but also this in combination with that is almost like overkill, because not only is like Goku on the verge of like making the mistake of going against his teachings as a martial artist, he's also being tempted that much more to go against his teachings because the planet is blowing up. Frieza's basically like trying to fuel the aspect of Goku's personality that he's fighting so hard to not give into by threatening the planet in this way. Because now Goku's like, well, if I don't kill this guy, if I don't, basically give in to my desire to get revenge, he's going to survive this fight. So I think that's really cool.
He's a great villain, a great art here. I mean, look at like the nosebleed. Frieza's got the Joker laugh. Like, he really is the Joker of Dragon Ball. Now, basically, Kaio explains that this is a problem because now that there's a ticking time bomb here, which Frieza goes into in a minute. So Frieza fires the blast at the core of planet Namek. Goku is about to finish him off. This is an example of something that's better in the manga than in the anime. Because if you watch the Dragon Ball Z anime, Frieza, it's like the Goku thing. He's got his hands up here forever before he throws it at the earth. But here, I love the pacing of this because Goku's about to fire Kamehameha. Right? He's about to fire Kamehameha. And Frieza's like, no, I'm going to beat you to it. Like what happened with Vegeta. He's about to Big Bang attack Frieza in Resurrection F. The manga's pacing wins here. That's the issue with, and I love Dragon Ball Z, but the manga's pacing is the winner here, as well as the 5 minutes makes a little bit more sense in the manga because of the fact they're going at the speed of light and there's less filler. So, because everybody's saying now in the chat, the planet takes 10 minutes, 10 episodes to explode, and that's true. In the manga, it's a lot faster.
Yeah.
And Frieza's over here laughing. He's like, you don't know what I did, do you? He's like, no, I'll beat you and escape on a ship. And then he basically tells him that now he's going to go to 100% of his power. So we're actually going to see Frieza at max power. And then Goku's like, no, I'm just going to fucking kill you. I'm not going to stall Look at this panel right here, bro. God, the detail, man, it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
He
Toriyama
uses
goes hard on quite
he
a few
uses
panels.
no, this whole arc. He uses his hands to push Goku back, almost like a force push. Back he goes into the water, and then Goku still rises back up again. And then Frieza's like, "You've underestimated me. That's not my full strength." So right here, it makes it seem like, okay, yes, Goku has transformed, but Frieza still got a lot of gas left in the tank.
Right.
It's not going to be a walk in the park, as they say. Now I'll show you 100%. Goku's trying to stop it. Here it says Frieza's do or die at full power. Another great panel right there. He's like, at full power, I can end this within a minute, within 30 seconds. That's what he thinks. So he's powering up. Amazing. His key's shooting up like a rocket. I'm finally going to see him maximum power. So Goku decides, and again, we talked about this before, to stop attacking Frieza and allow him to transform. This is a trope that the series does now where Goku and Vegeta want to see their opponent at their best. Okay, maybe Goku should have killed him here, but it's just that macho bullshit, that Saiyan pride bravado of, I want to see you at your best, so I'm going to let you fucking power up. Let's see if you really are as strong as you say.
Yeah, it's the martial artist in Goku. If Goku, well, and the Saiyan, but if Goku was to kill Frieza in cold blood, he would be no different than Frieza. And I think what's really interesting about the fact that they do, do this thing where they let their enemies power up all the time is, despite the fact that it seems really dumb, the fact that it covers up Goku making the mistake of killing Frieza in cold blood is interesting. Like it's like either way, he's going to be making a mistake, because he can either give in to the temptation to try and get revenge and give in to and betray his principles as a martial artist, or he can embrace his principles as a martial artist and cause more chaos, right? And that's kind of where like the aspect of Goku's nature as a martial artist backfires so often, and as a Saiyan, like it backfires all the time, like in the sense that in the short term, it causes way more problems than necessary. But in the long term, everything always works out the best despite that. So it's, it seems
we talk about that.
Surface, it seems dumb on the surface, but when you consider all the context, it actually always works out very well.
It's very macho is what it is, bro. It's very, very macho. Very like, all right, let's go. So Kaio-sama is having a meltdown right here. He's having a meltdown right here. It says, yes, the dialogue is different depending on the translations, Garrett. He says, what the hell are you doing, Goku? Can you hear me? This is your chance to attack now while Frieza's focused on powering up. Goku says, he's like, don't even think about ignoring me. And Goku's like, no, I'm going to let him power up. You're right. It's just that I might never get a chance like this again. A chance to see if the most powerful guy in the universe at his best. That's kind of an ongoing thing, though.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing thing in this series.
Yeah.
I will fight Frieza at full power and beat him. So he's like, fuck it. I know I can beat this guy. And it is egotistical to a degree, but it's something that him and Vegeta do. This isn't the game. I'm going to avenge Kuririn's death. He's died twice already. The Dragon Balls can never bring him back. That's something else we have to remember.
What's funny about it, though, is
at the time, Goku didn't know that. Go ahead.
Well, also, Goku doesn't consider just killing Frieza revenge. That's another thing that people, or avenging Krillin's death. I shouldn't use revenge because this isn't about revenge at all. Revenge is like
it's avenging, yeah.
But the thing is like Goku just killing Frieza to him is not avenging Krillin here, and that's something that a lot of people overlook about this. They read this and they think, oh, Goku wants to, and he does. Like he eventually does kill Frieza, but like he never really wants to, in the sense that people think that he does, because in his mind, humiliating Frieza is avenging Krillin. He doesn't just want to kill him.
Cuck him.
he wants to shatter his pride and make him feel as though he is not superior in the way that he feels that he is. And only then can Goku be satisfied with, basically to him, doing that to Frieza is worse than death. That's essentially the way Goku's looking at it. Like, breaking his ego in that way to Goku is like the ultimate punishment. So
look what he tells Kaio. He says Krillin was a good person. He was my best friend. He didn't deserve to die. They'll they'll be all right. Gohan and the others will be fine. Goku's again very optimistic here. Now he's powering up 85%. I'll let you reach maximum power, Frieza, so I can take you down at your absolute best and have no regrets as a warrior. This is what you wanted all along, isn't it? To try your maximum power. Otherwise, you would have hit the planet with another blast and be done with it. Yep. And they both of them have that ego, that macho bullshit. But this is a Dragon Ball thing. It's shonen, but Dragon Ball really does it a lot. Moving on here, he's got to go save Bulma because they got to get out of there. And then we have a look at Frieza's 100% form. I actually like the way he looks all buff like this, bro.
Right, me too. Yeah. I do like the 100% full power form. Although it does make it, I've always said this, it makes Frieza look like one of those, you remember those dolls they used to have where you can stretch their arms?
Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that. It reminds me so much of that.
Yeah. He looks like Stretch Armstrong. So
they should make a Stretch Armstrong of Frieza in that form. That would sell like crazy.
So now, yes, they should. They actually should do that. So now Kami is communicating with Kaio. This is where they set up their plan on how they're going to use the Dragon Balls to get everybody off the planet. And we can go into this later, but basically the idea is trying to resurrect everybody who's been killed in the past year, and they're discussing what they're going to do. Of course, everybody knows the story, to bring the Grand Elder back to life. Then the Dragon Balls will have one more wish on Namek. So Kaio tells them, make it to bring to life those killed by Frieza and his men. So that's, this is basically them doing that so that they have one more Namek Dragon Ball wish. That way, instead, they would only have 2 wishes. Yeah. So that of course means, or 1 wish. That of course means that these guys are gonna have to stay with Kaio for another.
Phrasing. Yeah.
Yeah, phrasing. There's Frieza I love how we go from this to just Frieza 100% uppercutting Goku in the gut, bro. And now Frieza's getting some hits in on Goku. He's going.
Yeah, and Frieza's trying to impress Goku too, which is funny.
And Goku's still talking shit.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed if that was the best you could do. Before you die, I really have to hand it to you. You are remarkable. Your strength's magnificent, Super Saiyan. This is like something Goku would say. In fact,
he's bringing out that aspect of his personality. Goku is bringing this out of Frieza slowly but surely.
Right. Chapter 332, a final grand decisive battle for both sides. So the imagery here is great with like the power leaking out of their bodies, the lightning. Let me get some of these super chats that are behind here. We have a few that we need to get to here. Hold on a minute. Okay, wait, we did that one. Okay, Joyfire. SSJ blonde hair, blue eyes perpetuated a racial trope. No. We talked about this a little bit last week. In Japan, having blonde hair makes you a delinquent. People in Japan, the conservative Japanese people think if you dye your hair blonde, you're a delinquent. So I think Toriyama put some of that in there. There's nothing racial here with that at all. Xavier says, was it a good or bad thing that after this Frieza saga, Dragon Ball became the Super Saiyan show? Also, does the manga SSJ Goku predate Lord Slug movie? I've talked about this already, brother. And I'm actually kind of sad that you didn't fucking pick up on this. I've talked about this same thing for years. The Lord Slug movie came out 9 days before Goku transformed Super Saiyan in the manga. I've covered that in the Super Saiyan Explain video. I covered that in an old video from years ago. I forgot what it was called. I think it was the original Super Saiyan Transformations Explained, not the more recent one from 2019, the one from before. So Lord Slug came out 9 days before. Now, as far as the first question goes, I do think that Super Saiyan kind of was overused later in the series, and it became about transformations, and I'm not a fan of that.
Well,
What about you?
It does kind of take away from the series the same way that Beerus does Frieza. It's like a very similar thing. But to me, it's like all an opinion thing. Like if you let it ruin it, yeah, it can ruin it. Like if you want to like really be nitpicky and be like, oh, Goku should have been the other Super Saiyan. Oh, this sucks. Like you could totally be that way, and it would be understandable. But to me, the way Toriyama explained how the other people became Super Saiyans makes it fine. And also, it kind of perpetuates that narrative, that notion of the Goku effect, right? Because the only reason that like multiple Super Saiyans ended up existing after this is because of Goku's existence, right? So that makes it a little bit more justifiable and interesting, right? But to me, it's just like an opinion thing. Like you could definitely look at it as it taking away from this initial Super Saiyan transformation, because I think that's a valid criticism that makes sense. Yeah. But when you consider the fact that Goku becoming a Super Saiyan is what led to all of those Super Saiyans, and the fact that Super Saiyan is the result of a serene heart and all that good stuff. Super Saiyan in itself, the other characters being Super Saiyan, is an effect that Goku had on the story. So, in that sense, it's still kind of cool. So it's really just like an opinion thing, in my opinion. So,
yeah, this is a funny question right here, or a comment. It's funny that they refer to King Kai as Kai-Osama in the manga. You know his name is Kai-Osama, right? Like you do know that King Kai is a dub name, right? That's like saying it's funny they refer to Hercule as Mr. Satan. You know the English dub changed a lot of names and censored everything. Are you late to the party on that one, buddy? Are you late to the party on that one? All right. So, anyways, Justin then says, so Frieza is choosing to destroy the planet instead of making a comeback in the fight. How Tom Brady of him. Okay, well, I don't get the Tom Brady reference, but he wants to beat. It's not about that. He wants to beat Goku. Blowing up the planet is an insurance policy. It's him saying, okay, if I don't beat this guy, he's going to die anyways because he's too dangerous to be kept alive. For him, that's the way I see it.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. It's like, even if I lose, I win, basically.
This is a pretty interesting question. Would Goku act different if Frieza killed Gohan? I honestly think, this is just my opinion, if Frieza killed Gohan, Goku would probably have killed Frieza and not shown any mercy. I'm just being honest with you.
Maybe, but Toriyama has talked about how Goku only looks at his family as companions. So it might not be any different than how he looks at Krillin. Because the way I've always interpreted that is that Goku cares about everybody equally. I do think that he does kind of have a bias towards Gohan, but I don't think it's necessarily that he cares more about Gohan than he cares, because I think he cares about everybody equally. I think he has pride in Gohan.
He does. But it's still his son, though. It's still his son,
Yeah, it is his son, but I don't look at Goku as like a human in the same sense that, like, me. I don't think he looks at his son the way that me and you would. I think the only reason he looks at his son different is because he has pride in Gohan because it's his son, and he wants him to be like a great example of, the type of person that he would want to be. But in terms of him, like, the love, quote unquote, that he has for people, I think it's all equal. So I don't know if he would act any differently or not. That's just
I'd like to think that he would have just been even more angry. So, but that's my view. All right. He says, sorry, I'm used to hearing King Kai rather than Kai Osama. You don't have to apologize, buddy, but I'm going to tell you this. That tells me that the only Dragon Ball Z you've seen is the homogenized, kidified, Americanized, censored baby version of Dragon Ball Z called the English dub. It's the baby version. It's for little babies. So if you want to watch the little baby version where Frieza literally says, hey, your shoes are untied. And Goku says, I'm not even wearing laces. If that's your preferred dub, buddy, over the real shit, hey, then have fun with it. But the real show in Japanese, uncensored, totally different experience.
I mean,
so yeah.
I agree.
It's the real series. So Justin says many people consider Frieza to be Goku's arch enemy. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Now I would, like in modern Dragon Ball, I would, but in back then, this is it, right? This and like him coming back later, that's it. So
now hold on. People in the chat are saying he's called King Kai in the Kai dub and Super dub. I know the key word there is dub.
Yeah,
dub. Yeah. That's the key word. You know, but yeah, as far as this goes, I think, yeah, him coming back for Resurrection F, is
I think he's become his arch enemy. I do.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to also reply to this guy. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Don't be like your friends. Watch OG Dragon Ball. Don't be like your friends. Let's keep going. We don't have time for people talking about the dub. I don't want to talk about the dub, right? It sucks. All right. Let's get to the real story.
Let's just mute the word dub in the chat. That'd be nice.
No, I'm not gonna go. I don't even think you can do that.
It'd be awesome if you could.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, so now Frieza's saying I'm gonna go to Earth next. So that right there should be enough for Goku to say, nah, fuck this. And then now Frieza's getting mad, and Goku puts on his stance. And then here comes Big Buff Frieza to go attack Goku. This is all action panels, but they're great. Look at this shit, bro. This is beautiful. This is beautiful right here. Just a lot of Frieza going for punches, Goku dodging. He gets behind him. Goku locks his arms. He fucking locks his arms, bro. Fucking just like,
he like breaks his arm right there.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all know this. This is an actual fucking move. This move is called the Kimura. It's called the Kimura. He doesn't have it fully applied, but he's going for a Kimura. This is a legitimate MMA move. You understand what I'm saying? But instead of breaking his arm, he just swings him around. I would have broken his arm. And then Frieza fires back a blast at him, creating, like, looking down, nothing. So Goku prepares the Kamehameha. Again, these panels are all great, bro. All we have to do is admire and again, the full color. The full color, bro. That's the key.
Right. Yeah, particularly these few pages, it looks really good.
Yes. Now, the dragon on Earth is back. Frieza's going for his, like, big double punch. And Goku doing the Kamehameha. And what happens is, this is the wish being granted. Goku's trying to kill Frieza here with this move. See you in hell, Frieza. Like, and I love that shot. Yeah. All right, we're not done yet. Chapter 323, 2 wishes. This is some of the best shit, bro. Again, it's not my favorite arc, but the manga, reading this manga is such an easy read. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it just gets smooth. I mean, look at this, bro. I don't know what to say, bro. I praise it. No disrespect to Toyotaro, bro. He ain't never gonna fill this guy's shoes. I don't know anybody who can.
Definitely not. If he don't change,
not old school Toriyama. Like, this is young Toriyama. When he was already rich, but he still had that hunger.
Yeah.
So big blast here. Frieza's trying to hold on. Goku kind of underestimates Frieza's power, I think. And Frieza knocks him down into the water. Now, at this point in the anime version, there's an extra fight where Frieza fights Gohan. It's actually Dragon Ball Z episode 100. It's the 100th episode of Dragon Ball Z. That's not in the manga. So I don't hate that, but the manga version just flies by easier. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. So the Namekians are all back to life. Frieza has no idea what the hell's going on. They don't know what's happening. The planet Namek is beginning to crumble. Like, it's already showing signs of crumbling. And now Frieza thinks he won by knocking Goku into the ground. And Frieza's like, what the hell's going on? It's dark. Is that the planet? But it's actually this. So those on planet Namek killed by Frieza and his men live once again. So he's gone. And that brings Porunga back and the Grand Elder of Namek. So everything's going good.
Double Dragon Ball whammy. They use the Dragon Balls from Earth and from Namek.
Yeah, and I love that. So Frieza's saying that he needs to get away from the explosion because he's, if he gets caught in it, he might die. And then he looks down and here comes Goku again. Now, because of the anime, there are people who think that Goku died here. That when Frieza knocked him into the ground, he died. I did a whole debunk video. I think the most, and it's annoying. I think that the most important videos I've ever done are the Mythbusters videos because there are so much bullshit out there in this fandom. A lot of people think that Goku died here. He did not die. He was knocked into the water. Yes, Air Dog just said it. A lot of people think Goku was revived by this wish. That is not what happened. Goku did not die. Goku was knocked away. He did not die. And now, this is when Frieza makes that comment where he says, fine, have it your way. I'll just blow you to pieces like I did your little Earthling. He's like you did that Earthling. You mean Kudadin? And then he fucking explodes. You're talking about my friend, motherfucker. Yep. And now, go ahead.
Frieza should never have said anything because now Goku is even more supercharged to make sure he stays and freaking wrecks Frieza.
Yeah. So now Kaio-sama's talking to Saichoro. It's funny they call him Saichoro in the manga. They call Guru. I'm used to it being Guru. No, I'm making fun of that guy. I'm clowning. I'm just fucking around. I want you to make everybody on Namek. So Goku gets in the conversation, this three-way phone call, right? And Air Dog, I agree with you. I can't understand that, but I never believe that. So I want you to make it so everyone on Namek except for Frieza and myself leave. And Kaio's like, why don't you just go with them? But the macho shit plus he wants to put an end to Frieza because I think also he realizes if Frieza if they all go to Earth and Frieza survives this fight without being humbled, Frieza will just go to Earth, which he wound up doing anyways. But I mean, that's the way I see it. Like we're only postponing Frieza coming for me.
To Earth to wipe it out, or instead of going to Earth to just challenge Goku and try and mend his ego, he would probably just wipe Earth out immediately if this situation wasn't handled right. And that's the most important aspect of all this is that Goku breaking Frieza's ego is the reason that Frieza never destroys Earth, despite making multiple trips there. That's the reason that Goku's attitude here bears fruits in the long term. Because
he did destroy Earth in Resurrection F, but I know what you mean.
Well, but that was because of Vegeta's attitude, though. And Vegeta's attitude is the opposite of what Goku is practicing here. And had Goku practiced the same attitude as Vegeta, he would have blown up Earth anyway. So it's like Toriyama trying to reinforce the fact that Goku's attitude is the reason Earth isn't blown up. The type of attitude that Vegeta had that Goku could have had would have blown the Earth up. And if Frieza and Vegeta fought in this scenario, I don't think Frieza would have waited. I don't think he would have put in the effort to try and mend his pride if he was fighting Vegeta. I think he just would have blew the planet up. Like, I don't think he would have taken the time to give the 5 minutes to try and defeat his. I think he literally just would have blew it up. So Goku is the reason that everybody has been bought time. Without Goku's attitude, they would not have been able to use the Dragon Balls to bring everybody back. Frieza would have eventually showed up later and destroyed Earth. Like Goku not being like completely merciless has a lot of positive impact on this overall situation that people overlook, I guess is what
I want to address this right here. This guy said Dragon Ball is woke. Listen, man, I'm here to tell you something. If you actually believe that Dragon Ball is woke, brother, you have what Jordan has coined political brainworms. That's what you have, my friend. Because first of all, Japanese culture in and of itself is very not woke. There's some wokeness, but there's very little of it.
yeah.
And I
And
don't
what does woke
understand
mean?
woke and SJW have no meaning anymore.
That's what I mean.
So I don't know anything in Dragon Ball that's woke. It's just I think you've been watching too many YouTubers that talk about the woke shit. The Japanese aren't going to be woke, bro. Like, just don't worry about that. Super chat from Command Line Volpine. He says, y'all think if Vegeta went Super Saiyan instead of Goku here that he would beat Frieza? It's a 50 times multiplier, but Frieza beat him at 1% power. He'd have no shot, 2%, and they'd be evenly matched. I think that if Frieza was at 50%, and Vegeta was Super Saiyan, Frieza would probably still edge him out. I don't think it'd be a one shot. You know?
Right. It would be a fight, but I definitely think Frieza could beat Vegeta for multiple reasons.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, he's saying he's exaggerating, and that what he means is Dragon Ball softer than
but
before.
that's not woke.
That's not woke, bro.
That's
And again,
not,
it goes back to what Jordan said. Woke has no meaning because all these fucking grifting YouTubers, woke, and it has no meaning anymore. The other day, 2 weeks ago, I wrote on Twitter that I was happy that Pentagon cut a promo in Spanish because I'm Hispanic. And this fucking guy replied and goes, come on, geekdom, that's woke. So it's woke to have pride for being Hispanic? That's woke to you that I have pride for being Hispanic?
Yeah.
Well, what about this question, bro? Is the original dub and the uncensored version the same? That's like asking if ice cream and horse manure taste the same. You know what I want you to do, bro? Go out to a farm and I want you to bring an ice cream cone, lick it, and then lick the turd, and you'll know the difference. Does that make sense?
So the guy Carl Tanner says Super is indeed woke, in my opinion. Made all the characters look like sissies with small muscles, and future Trunks look metrosexual. What show have you been watching, bro? What show have you been watching? Do you think Trunks doesn't look metrosexual in Dragon Ball Z? What show have you been watching?
I don't even think Trunk looks How is Trunk metrosexual? Because he has a bowl cut?
Because he wants to look good. There's no issue with that. There's no issue with being stylish.
What? You know what I don't understand. But how is Trunks?
Who cares?
You act like Trunks puts like I don't even. What is this guy talking about, bro?
He saw a few images of Trunks being skinnier than usual because he was starving in Super, by the way. They literally show a scene of him eating food out of
cat food. Eating fucking cat food, bro.
And the thing is, he's not even consistently like that. Like literally at the very beginning of Super, when they show Trunks fighting Dabura, he's ripped. Like he's absolutely ripped. So like this, it's just it's just nonsense. It's just
and then Ultra Instinct Goku's also jacked. It's like they watched a different show. Again, political brainworms. You have political brainworms, bro. I recommend that you disconnect from the internet, bro. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm actually being genuine. Anytime I see somebody saying woke and it's not woke, I tell them, you got to go outside, bro. Talk to some real fucking people. This woke shit is just an internet thing. Like, people in the real world don't give a fuck about woke or not, dude. Let's move on. So the Namekians are back to life. Dende's back to life. And look who else is back to life. It's Vegeta. I'm alive. And then we have the one last wish. And then Goku makes sure. Now Frieza's starting to realize, oh, shit. Oh, my God. What the hell's going on? Chapter 3 to 24, quiet, fierce battle. Another incredible shot of Goku and Frieza.
Yeah.
So every panel in this volume is like clean.
I like
bro.
how the sky is turning black instead of green. I really like that.
Yeah. Oh, what is
And
this? Do Saiyan immune deficiency virus exist? I don't think so, bro. I don't think there's a Saiyan AIDS. What were you gonna say, Jordan? He's
I
asking
was just
about
gonna
Saiyan
say
AIDS.
the green and the black looks cool together. Like it looks like very scary. I
You mean
like
like the cloudy black?
Yeah, the black cloudy sky and the green ocean and like the slight green tint to the sky. It just looks really cool. It's really epic
Den
looking.
Dende with the Namekian, bro, that Piccolo forgot. And then he freezes over here speaking in, galactic standard, as they say, asking for eternal life, but it doesn't matter because the wish has to be made in Namekian. Now, Goku does not know that. And because the wish has to be made in Namekian, he gets it. So they're looking, and then there you go. I shall transport those on this planet to Earth, with the exception of these two. Frieza has a meltdown. Goku is smiling. Off they go to planet Earth. The Dragon Balls disperse. And now we have what I consider, in my opinion, I think. Okay, wait. Didn't Frieza kill any of his own henchmen? Go to my channel, look at the shorts tab. I literally did a short about this 2 weeks ago. In the manga, Frieza never killed any of his own men. That's only in the anime.
Right.
That is only in the anime, which a lot of people don't realize. And maybe you didn't realize it, but it's true. I guess the manga's woke, isn't it, Jordan? So basically, Goku realizes you don't get the wish. So what I was gonna say is, in my opinion, this is the greatest atmosphere for a fight in all of Dragon Ball.
Yes.
You've got these two warriors, and they're fighting on a dying planet. Now you've got like the Cell Saga in the Cell game stage. That's okay. The Buu Saga on the Supreme Kai world, I like a lot as well. I actually like that aesthetic. Obviously, the Tournament of Power arena is pretty cool, but this feels like the Frieza Saga was never
dying underneath them, bro. The planet is literally dying beneath them. Like it doesn't get much more epic than that. Like it just doesn't,
Toriyama, that myth about Toriyama ending it at the Frieza Saga, it's a myth, but I can understand why people would think that, because if you're going to have a final battle, having one over the top of a destroying planet is fucking cool.
Yeah, it is for sure. It's one of the cool. It's the most epic thing. It's one of the most epic things Toriyama has done in terms of setting up a fighting environment. I mean, look at that. There's like red lightning everywhere. Like the ocean is like brewing, like boiling.
It's like apocalyptic.
Yeah, exactly.
So now they're getting ready to fight. And then Frieza's basically saying, no matter what, you're going to die. Because even if you beat me, you're stuck here. And so he's got that confidence. But now they're going to go to the ground to finish their fight. The anime version adds a ton of filler, right?
Right. Yeah,
but there's a couple of episodes where the animation is pristine. But with the manga, I think everything is pristine. So Piccolo's waking up now. The Namekians are back on Earth. Vegeta's there. They're all trying to figure out what's going on. And then meanwhile, here comes Goku and Frieza. This is just great shit, bro. Just, again, every panel is fire, bro. Like every manga-wise, I think there may be a possibility that this could end up being my favorite arc or my favorite fight. Excuse me, my favorite fight manga-wise. So yeah. Goku, this is now I've covered this in the very first Dragon Ball in depth from 2015. I did a video explaining how Goku beat Frieza, and it's right here. Chapter 324, Son Goku calls it quits. Frieza goes for a shot to the face. Goku ducks and uppercuts Frieza. This uppercut to the body right here this was the end of Frieza. This is the move. This is the move that ended the fight.
Yeah.
We're going to find out how in a minute.
An uppercut, too. I love it.
It was an uppercut to the gut. And that was the thumbnail that I chose for this stream.
Right.
Frieza knocks Goku away. Right. He's got some fight left in him. This flying kick right here.
That's iconic as hell. Like, I've seen it so many times.
But it wasn't in Z. Did you know that wasn't in Z?
Yeah, I know.
In the Dragon Ball Z version of this fight, that kick isn't there. However, if you watched the Future Trunks special where they aired Resurrection F, well, no, it was after that. If you watch the Future Trunks TV special that aired in 2016, they reanimated parts of the fight. It was done by Yuya Takahashi, and they put the kick back in.
Yeah,
in the Super Trunks special.
I love it.
Why did they take the kick out of Dragon Ball Z?
I don't know.
I love that kick.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, he missed it. He boots him,
and then he boots him midair. Yeah,
he boots him and knocks him on his ass. Goku's behind him, getting the speed advantage. Look at that fucking shit. Now he's just fucking pounding him, bro.
Yeah,
he's just fucking pounding him. Pause. Look at this. Just every shot is just rattling him like he got hit by a fucking train. You know what I mean? Just incredible. All of this stuff is just great art. There's Goku says, "I quit." Wait a minute. What? You quit? What are you talking about? You've been coming at me at 100%, but it's finally caught up with you, and your ki is dropping fast. Remember, Frieza can't sense ki.
Yep.
I just don't see any point in fighting you anymore. I'm satisfied. Your pride has been shredded. Someone came along and was better than you, something you never dreamed was possible. This is why Goku wanted to finish him, bro. This is such good. What a great fucking story. And to top it off, that person was only a Saiyan. What a great fucking... Look at the smirk, bro.
Completely flabbergasted Frieza. Frieza's like, what? It's so funny. Frieza's reaction to this always cracks me up, like every single time.
He fucking humbled him, bro.
Yeah.
He humbled his bitch ass. Now that you know what fear feels like, there's no sense in defeating you. Go and live with the shame. Go and find a hole to cower in. I'm going back to Earth. If I leave now, I'll make it off this planet in time. And he actually powers down into base, which this was in the anime. Don't cause any more trouble. Don't let me ever see you again. This basically Goku thinks that he learned his lesson, not knowing that Frieza never learns his lesson, bro. We're talking about Frieza here. How dare you play games with me? I am not to be beaten. And then Frieza unleashes his fucking secret move, which is his version of the Kienzan, except that Frieza can control it telekinetically. It's his special version.
That's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Krillin cannot control where it goes, but Frieza can. And he fires it up at Goku and nicks his cheek, which causes his cheek to bleed. And Goku gives him this look like, motherfucker.
I'm so disappointed in you. So
I'm giving you, you've already lost this fight. You are beaten. You're not going to beat me. And you still are trying. Yeah. Son of a bitch bastard. You are a complete and utter fool. I gave you one last chance to walk away and you blew it. He powers back up and he starts to move to dodge the disc. This will follow you wherever you go and will slice through anything. Now, let me explain this because I don't think I've done a video on this. And if I did, I don't remember. When Frieza uses this move, he's not controlling it with energy. Oh, no, let me rephrase that. He is controlling it with energy, but because he can't sense energy, he has to see it. Right? This is a big deal. This is going to play into it, what ends up happening. And I covered this in the Brilliance of Goku versus Frieza video. And Goku's like, this really your last resort? I expected something better than that from you. I see through your strategy. You're going to swerve at the last second so it hits me with my own attack Do you think I'm going to fall for that 2-bit tactic like that? Well, here we go. An empty conclusion. So again, another great shot. Goku's running away from it. Do you take me for a fool? Goku's just trying to dodge it. So he fires another one right at Goku. And he's thinking, you know, he's going to get Goku, but it's that Goku's behind him over here. Now, there's a reason why this is happening. I want to explain why this is happening. This goes all the way back to the beginning of this fight. Goku knows that Frieza can't sense ki. Goku knows that Frieza is unable to sense energy, right?
Yep.
And that is the problem. That is what ultimately cost him the fight. He can't sense his own energy dropping in the 100% form. He can't sense the discs, and he can't sense where Goku's at. He has to use his eyes to see. And the problem is Goku is such an advanced fighter, thanks to the training he did with Popo, that he doesn't need eyesight to see because he knows how to sense ki.
Right.
So this means that Goku's just the better fighter no matter what.
Yeah, he has that supernatural martial arts training that Frieza lacks.
Now, look what he tells Frieza here. I don't see the point continuing this fight, especially if you're going to resort to these pathetic stunts. If you really want to settle this, go build your strength up and learn a few new moves. So he's telling him, I'll fight you again. I will fight you again.
Yeah, if you start improving yourself as a martial artist, then I'll fight you again. Yeah.
And that doesn't happen until the Super era.
Yeah.
That's when Frieza really changes. So now he busts out 2 discs. And he's throwing both of them at Goku. And he's like, you just don't learn, do you? Goku already knows that he's kind of got this like
wrapped. He got it wrapped. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's trying to basically reverse the discs. He fires a blast. Now, look, this is important because I don't think people really understand this. And the reason why I say that is because I didn't understand it when I first saw it. Like the first time that people see Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, you're not expected to know everything.
Right.
But upon repeat readings and viewings, you understand what's going on. He fires this ki blast not to hurt Frieza, but to cover up his
ability to see. Yeah.
His eyesight. Yes. So there's smoke everywhere. Frieza can't see. I refuse to fall for such childish tricks. Here comes the disc. Goku elbows Frieza in the head, knocking him down.
As he's jumping up. You know how bad that would hurt? You're jumping up, and these guys put a lot of force into their movements. He is jumping up as hard and as fast as he can, and Goku
look at his face
down with the elbow to his head as he's coming up. So as Frieza's moving up, Goku's moving down, and bam! That would hurt so bad.
And again, this is, in my opinion, I think it's a great strategy. Like there's actually strategy here. And I think this is what some of the modern Dragon Ball elements have been lacking.
Yeah.
You know, but he knocks him down. Here comes the disc. Because at this point, Frieza forgot all about it because Goku hit him, right?
Right.
Don't get up, stay down. Stay down. Huh? Yoink. If Frieza was able to sense ki, none of this would have happened.
Yep.
If Frieza was able to sense his power was going down, he's getting tired. If he was able to do more than just see, he would not have lost, and that's why he lost the fight.
And
to his own move.
Your ability to do that, to sense ki, is due to practicing martial arts. So it's
a big deal in this series.
Yeah, so you can summarize it as if Frieza had learned martial arts, he might have been fine, right? Like that's what's so interesting about this. It reinforces the fact that Goku has something that Frieza lacks, which is again really well done.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, and I'll be honest. When I first saw this, like what happened to Frieza, I didn't like it. Like I'm just being genuine. Like when I was a kid and I saw this, I was like, it's kind of a lame way to die. Until I started thinking about it, watching it in Japanese, of course, reading the manga, realizing, okay, This is why he lost, because he couldn't sense energy.
Right. And yeah, Frieza
Goku always had that edge.
Frieza's insides do have a very unique look because they're blue.
Yeah, it's
inspiration.
Yeah, he's an alien. But the thing is, though, the thing that's cool is like this was addressed at the beginning of their fight. Before Super Saiyan, before Krillin died, Goku took that mental note where he's like, he can't sense energy.
Yeah.
And that's
Yep.
it. That's it. Let's move on to these super chats here. Random Perspective says, so does Vegeta get a Z boost after dying? Yes, that's how it always works, my friend. Xavier says, modern Dragon Ball isn't the best, but I do appreciate that Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Piccolo, Frieza, Gohan, and Broly have their own transformations to stay relevant.
Yeah,
I do like, I actually do like that as well.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yunga Young C Bones says, last Steam, what about Vegeta talking to Goku in a dream, the anime version? Then he had a burst energy attack Frieza. A burst of energy attacking Frieza.
So Vegeta like telepathically talking to Goku.
That did happen in the anime. Yeah, where Vegeta's actually naked and he's talking to Goku.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I liked that scene because Vegeta was trying to instill his own Saiyan beliefs into Goku. None of that's in the manga. So I don't really know.
It does kind of reflect the fact that Vegeta is like the evil aspect of Goku's nature that he's trying not to give into, though. In that sense, I think it's cool, but it's a little bit too on the nose. I think Goku acting the way he is enough to communicate that message. But the Vegeta thing's an interesting touch. I won't hate on it, but
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
it's just a weird scene.
Yeah,
they added it for padding, I think. Justin Sullivan says, thank God Frieza didn't eat any Taco Bell when Goku punched him in the gut like that. He would be vomiting and shitting profusely. Well, yeah. I almost had Taco Bell today, bro. I almost punished myself. Yeah, I didn't do it, though.
Intended. All right.
Yeah, I didn't do it. But yeah, I love that at the very beginning of the fight, Goku realized he can't sense energy, and that was foreshadowing for how the fight ends. Toriyama is just really, really good. Toriyama's a discovery writer, but again, that does not mean.
Sometimes being a discovery writer allows you to make some of the coolest decisions that you could in a story, and I'll tell you why. Because when you write something, guess what? It's set in stone. So if you have a better idea later, you can't implement it because you've already written the script. It's set in stone. And that's what makes discovery writing particularly interesting. And also, that's also why, as a writing technique, it has so much potential because, I'm sure you have experienced this as a reader or as a viewer. You'll be reading or viewing the series and you'll have an idea of what would have been cool, right? You'll be like, oh, this would have been cool if this happened, right? Well, that is the beauty of discovery writing. You could take advantage of those thoughts in a discovery writing process. If you come up with an idea on the spot that's really cool and you think works very well, as a discovery writer, you can implement it. So discovery writing isn't like it's not necessarily about just making things up as you go along. It's also about taking advantage of the story beats that you see that you can take advantage of. So,
right now, Frieza's been cut to pieces. He's done. Now he's done, and he can't regenerate. So, wait, we got everything. And now Goku's got that look of just like pity and disappointment.
Right.
Such a miserable end doesn't suit you, even if you brought it upon yourself. Damn you. Honestly, I disagree with Goku. I think Frieza deserved all this shit for what he did. But whatever. He says, I'm going back to Earth. You can share your fate with the planet you destroy. So he's going to leave him for dead. He's going to, at this point, and this goes back to what Jordan said earlier in the stream where Goku's kind of fighting with himself.
Yeah.
because there's two sides to this. Is again, Dragon Ball has no story. Sure. This Goku is well, they're just retarded, bro. They're just fucking stupid. So
Yeah.
Goku is having this internal problem because part of him wants to leave Frieza there for dead. The other part of him has pity for Frieza.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like potential wasted. Like, dude, you're so powerful and this is what you are, a coward.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a perfect way of putting it. That is literally what Goku is thinking, is that like, wow, it's very similar to Vegeta, but at this point, you know, he's so disgusted by his actions that he's like, you know, it's very similar to Vegeta, but in this sense, you know, the difference is that the fight didn't end with Vegeta or Frieza escaping. It ended with Goku giving Frieza the opportunity to escape and him squandering it. So it's kind of like, it's very similar to what happened with Vegeta, but it's even worse because instead of trying to escape like Vegeta did, Frieza was like, nah, you know. So
And here's this shows how much of a scoundrel and a scumbag and a coward Frieza is. Like this dude is such a fucking like even though I love him as a villain, like he's an entertaining villain, my favorite character. And this is why, because he is such a like he encompasses all of the things that honestly that I don't like. I don't like nepo babies. I don't like hypocrites. And obviously, I don't like murderers and slave owners and shit like that, right? Toriyama, I think, wrote Frieza to be the most despicable villain in the entire series, even more so than Demon King Piccolo.
That also kind of explains why you like Johnny so much too, because he was like a nepo baby and shit, and he like got through all that shit. Like he like basically like
Johnny Lawrence.
It's very similar. Like
he wasn't a nepo baby. Remember, he grew up poor.
Well, he had that rich dad during the original Karate Kid, but yeah.
I don't remember that, bro. I really don't remember. I just remember him growing up poor.
You don't remember him pulling up to LaRusso and like making fun of his car because he had like a convertible and like
he had a nice car, but I don't.
Yeah. And they later expand on that because like his dad like shows up and tries to write him a check and he's like, "Screw your check," you know, like his stepdad.
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we got this. Oh God. Imagine Goku says to Frieza, "You were the chosen one. It was said you would destroy the Sith, not join them." Yeah, bro. Right. I'm glad George Lucas didn't write fucking. Didn't write this, bro.
He wasn't the best dialogue guy.
So Frieza is literally begging for mercy. He's like, "Please help me. You killed this man's best friend. You tried to kill his son. You wiped out his entire race, including his father, and you killed a bunch of innocent people. He's literally gave you multiple chances to survive, which he shouldn't have done, which he should not have done. And now, after you tried to kill him, you're begging for mercy." What?
I say that's subjective. Like I said, I've explained this multiple times. Like Goku, he does stupid things, but it works out. So
no. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Frieza does not deserve mercy.
No, he doesn't. You're right.
He doesn't deserve mercy. And because he's done so many bad things, like he has done.
Right, he is like the worst person in the series we've seen so far. Straight up.
Yeah, right. And now he's such a piece of shit that he's actually got the audacity to ask for help from the man who he's been fighting for the past, I don't know how long, and the guy whose best friend he just killed. Most people, not Goku, most people, if okay, let's pretend I was Goku. I'm Goku. I would have said, "Fuck you," and finished him off. That's what I would have done.
Right.
But Goku's not like that. You know?
No, he's not. Yeah, even whenever, like, you'll see it here in just a second. Like he
Yeah,
literally
he's
has
still
like
doing
a
help
look of
me.
complete emptiness on his face. Like
It's always about you, isn't it? How many people have you killed as they beg for their lives like you are now? He's still begging, please. And then Goku gives him energy. He actually gives him
I'm
energy.
not you. He's like, I'm not you. Him
I'm
giving
not
Frieza
you.
energy is basically his way of saying, I'm not you. That's basically what he's saying.
Basically. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And that is a good message. I mean, that is it's powerful. But
It
Dragon
is.
Ball has no story. There, I've given you a bit of my key. It should be enough for you to move around with, even in the condition you're in. That's all you get. Now you're on your own. So he even gave him a little bit of energy, bro. Chapter
Yeah.
327, the end of it all. So they're on Earth, kind of figuring out what's going on. The Namekian Dragon Balls are not active. They're inert, as they say. They're talking about what's going on with Goku. Gohan talking about Goku being a Super Saiyan. Vegeta's like, oh, is that what's going on? So now,
Yeah.
what? Yeah. So
Vegeta
now
freaking out. He's
Frieza,
like, oh God, Goku became the Super Saiyan. What the hell?
in the anime, he actually went up to him and talked to him for a second before going to Earth.
Yeah.
They changed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's Frieza's top half with guts fucking leaking out of the bottom. This is unexpected. You sharing your energy with me. You can survive in space, can't you? No, Goku says that. Then hurry up and get out of here while you can. Live on, and maybe one day you'll see the value of life. But Frieza's ego would not allow him to move on. It's crazy.
He's a half body man.
Yeah, and Goku's like, I'll take your ship instead. And then he's like, Vegeta wrecked the ship. You know, he's like, how ironic is that you won the fight, will die anyways. Which again, Frieza, he literally just gave Frieza some of his energy, and Frieza's like, you're gonna die anyways.
Yep.
He's such a horrible person, bro, which is what makes him a good villain, by the way. That's why I like him. I don't like him because I do not like Frieza because I want to be like him. I like Frieza because he represents the absolute worst in humanity. And unfortunately, during my time here on YouTube and in my life, I've met people like Frieza. You know, I really have. Maybe not murderers, but, you know, people who are like this, who are unappreciative, who are selfish,
egotistical. You know,
all that shit.
My favorite
babies.
Word, wormy. You know.
Oh yeah, wormy. Yeah. I am the strongest in the universe. You must die by my hand. So Frieza says you will be killed by me. Now, here's what's funny about this. Frieza fires a blast at Goku and says you will be killed by me. But it's Goku's energy he's using against him. So really, it's Goku that's letting him do that.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
So if he did kill him, it'll be Goku. Yeah, true.
Goku sees the blast. You fool, fires one back and puts an end to Frieza, or so we think. Blows him the fuck up, bro.
That
in
look
the
of
Spanish, yeah, Goku's face right there is like, what a waste.
Yep.
I did all this shit for this guy, and he still wanted to kill me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just crazy, bro. I like how in the Spanish dub he says "estúpido." The fool thing can be translated many different ways. You idiot. That's what he says in the Japanese anime.
Estúpido. Yeah, I've heard that.
Estúpido. He flies off. Okay. Chapter 28, Planet Namek fades out. We're almost done. So now they're discussing. Kaio tells them, Goku's going to die if he doesn't find a planet. I'm going to get to the super chats here in a minute. He's looking for a ship. The anime version was a whole last episode. It was like episode 106, I think, where he's trying to figure out how to get off the planet, pushing buttons and shit, trying to figure out how to survive before it blows up. And Kaio's having a meltdown because they're running out of time. Goku's like cursing, like, no, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Then bam, the planet blows up. This is a phenomenal moment because Toriyama wanted the reader to think that Goku was really dead.
Right.
because the planet blows up in the next scene.
And it's really easy to think that too, given the context. It's really easy.
I mean, Goku's on the planet, and then the very next panel, it's blown up.
Yep.
Kaio's like, damn, he's dead. So that means that Kaio can't even sense the truth. He doesn't even have those abilities. And so then they communicate with the people on Earth to come up with a plan on how to bring everybody back to life. And they have to wait for the Dragon Balls to turn to work again.
Right.
Chapter 3.8. So again, the cliffhanger, this is actually pretty sad. The final panel of this chapter is Goku in his base form smiling. So Toriyama's really telling us, or telling the reader at the time, Goku is gone. This is like a memory now. And remember, this was in Weekly Shonen Jump. So the readers had to wait an entire week to find out what the hell happened to Goku, or to even see what happens to the other characters.
Right.
Goku won't be coming home, chapter 329. So this conversation is all about their plan. And Bulma saying the Namekians can stay with her, which would lead to Vegeta staying with her, which would eventually lead to Vegeta fucking her, and you know where that goes. But hey, take it, bro. She's giving it to you. And see, look, Vegeta says, I want to see Legendary Super Saiyan with my own eyes, and one thing we'll know, you will know defeat by my hand. But in the anime, he already saw Goku. So again, the manga and the anime is different in some instances. Here comes the big ship, and then we have a time skip. So the Namekian Dragon Balls regenerate quickly, and after 130 days, which is 1 year of the Namekian calendar, they are able to summon Porunga again. And here's where they start wishing people back. So Dende does all the wishing. And then they're like, wish Goku back. And Porunga's like, no, I'm unable to call forth the souls of the living. Wait, Goku's alive? That's the big twist. And then basically they're going to go and wish everybody else back. So Krillin is back. And then see what he says. As a special consideration, I have restored his dismembered body along with his clothing. So if you remember, it was back in the Piccolo arc and the Saiyan saga. For a resurrection, you have to preserve the body.
Yeah.
Porunga did them a favor and restored the body without it being an extra wish.
Yep, that's awesome.
And that's nice of him. Yeah, that's nice of him. So Porunga says that Goku is refusing to be transported to Earth, that he'll come back on his own. And Chi-Chi's very upset.
She's got a sword.
Yeah, bro, because dude, her husband's going to be gone again. Since Chaozu and Tenshinhan desired to come back together, it was agreed that Yamcha would be the first of them to return to life. Soon, another 130 days pass. The first wish was used to bring Chaozu back to life, while second was saved for Tenshinhan, with everyone alive once more. The Namekians used the third and final wish to relocate themselves along with their Dragon Balls to a new planet. Why do you
I think that's very interesting, because there's like a huge span of time there that the Namekians are on Earth that we don't get to see.
Right.
And
it's all off screen.
To me, that's very, very interesting, and also something that people tend to forget. Because that means that like all of the current Namekian culture is aware of Earth and what Earth is like. And I think that that's very interesting, because it's like, for example, like in Super, whenever they're talking, there's that scene where they're talking about the Dragon Balls, and that little Namekian kid raises his hand up and he's like, oh yeah, there's Dragon Balls on other planets, right? Like on Earth, right? So the only reason the Namekians know about that is because they spent this time on Earth. And I just think that's really cool. I just think it's a really interesting little detail.
In the anime, we got a bit more. Like the anime showed like this sort of emotional goodbye where Dende says goodbye to Gohan and so on and so forth. They add more to it, not just the Porunga scene. Now, here's a little tidbit that I'm sure most of the chat probably doesn't know. This is the first time that Toriyama's ever drawn Goku's house. Right here. This late into the series.
That's
Now,
awesome.
here's why this is interesting. Because in the anime Dragon Ball Z, they have his house, but it doesn't look like this. It's a different house. The anime version drew his house to resemble what they wanted. Then when Toriyama drew this version of it, they changed it to this version without even
Right.
explaining it. So in my
Yeah.
head, I've always thought that he just moved. You know what I mean? He just moved
Yeah.
to a new place. But no, this is the first time that
Yeah, we actually
that we
see
see
his
his
house
house.
canonically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drawn by Toriyama. So a year has passed. No Garlic Jr. saga in the manga. No evil teacher episode. Gohan's still waiting. They're all sensing an evil energy. Can this be? Now, keep in mind, this is all in the same chapter, right? So
Yep.
if Toriyama was planning to end the story at the Frieza saga, but was forced to continue, why is it that in the same chapter they already start the next arc?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And ending the entire series with a single panel of Goku in the bottom left, like, come on, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
right. Also, this is true. It was this. This was the second time. The first time was earlier. That no, you're right about that. It was this. I was wrong. It's the second time they showed his house. So
right.
there you go. All right. So everybody on Earth senses it. That's the Earth, Papa.
Look at that,
It seems that we're due to arrive earlier than the Super Saiyan who
Darth
put me through all
Frieza.
of this. Yeah, 1 year later, bro. King Cold is appearing. What a small planet. I want to show him something, my powered up form. So now he's even stronger. Gohan puts on the armor. They're on the way to Earth, and Goku's nowhere to be found. That is the final page of volume 27. So the end of the Frieza saga begins the Android / Cell saga.
Yeah.
So
And it would be. I wonder what
Hmm?
people's reaction. I wonder what like weekly readers' reactions were to seeing Frieza come back so quick.
Yeah, it actually would have made sense if it makes more sense in the anime how there's that filler Garlic Jr. saga. So we have like 10 weeks of no Frieza, then boom, there's Frieza.
Yeah.
Like,
Whereas
and
this, yeah.
do you think that Frieza surviving hurts the story?
There's a lot of things you can make that argument about so many things. You know what I mean? Like even just continuing the story at this point has the potential of hurting everything. Like it just does. That's just how storytelling works.
That's
There's a
true.
lot of
We're
there's a lot of
we're gonna talk
retcon,
about that.
there's a lot of retcons that happen here that you could look at and be like, I don't know about all this, but to me, it's like that's just how Toriyama writes. That's just what he does. He when he's thinking about the future of the series, he's like, well, that part of the series has been left behind. Let's continue making it entertaining. That's his thought process. He's not really thinking about it detracting from the original content. I don't think he's ever thought about it that way. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so gung ho about using retcons. So it's subjective. I think that if you want to look at it as like it making this like detracting from the story, you can make that argument. But you could also argue that it enhances the story just by having new, more interesting content. So it goes both ways,
Yeah, and we're about to get to a fan favorite arc, which is the Android and Cell saga, and I do love a lot of the moments in that arc. In the coming weeks, as we talk about the Cell saga, there are going to be criticisms made because I think that storytelling consistency begins to drop off a bit in the Cell saga, even though the Cell saga has great moments. And even though the Benjamin, I said the same thing earlier today. It's kind of creepy. You thought the same thing about the Red Ribbon hat. I'm going to be bringing that back for the Android saga. But
Yep.
so what I'm trying to say is, even though I love the Cell saga, there are a number of logic holes in the Cell Saga that hurt the story. I think a lot of people, and this happens a lot with Dragon Ball or with anything, they sort of look past the logic holes. They sort of, we're enjoying the show, we're loving it, it's entertainment. But I think that I do feel that, like, as a writer, purely when it comes to the rules of writing, I do think that there are issues in the Cell Saga that need to be addressed. We're not gonna hate on it. It's just things that should be addressed.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that, and Lance has talked about this too on the Missed Era Fusion channel, one of the things that annoys me about the Cell Saga is the characters all make decisions that are dumb, but some are in character. So we'll get to it when we get to it. We have some super chats so we can wrap up the whole thing here. So Bones says, in the anime, Goku stated that to Kaio he would resent him if he doesn't allow him to fight Frieza. That's correct. That is correct. He did tell him. He did tell Kaio, no, please, I'm going to be mad at you if you don't let me do that. Yes, and I like that line. Nightmare Trooper says, I always love this scene thanks to my late older brother. Yes, I love him and I cherish him from the bottom of my heart, and he got me into DBZ. Well, I'm very sorry your brother passed away. My brother also passed away, and my brother got me into Dragon Quest before I even knew what Dragon Ball was, which is my Toriyama gateway drug, and he got me into Bruce Lee, and he got me into Star Wars. And those are very big things that we've talked about here, you and I. And yeah, he got me into all the nerd shit. So I can relate to him, bro. My brother died in 2018. So yeah. Alman John 1 says, can we talk about how fast those Dragon Balls travel to Earth? I mean, talk about fast travel. Goddamn. Well, it was a wish, man. Those wishes are instant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want an explanation, it's just magic. Do you have a better explanation than
that? No. I mean, they do talk about, if you want to imagine that they actually travel to Earth physically, I mean, they do talk about how, like, magic is like
they almost warped there.
Yeah,
they almost kind of warped there. Yeah. Justin says, I think we can all agree Goku's win on Frieza is both his most satisfying and most important to date. The Galactic Tyrant committed many atrocities, and Goku beat his ass and proved himself the best. I do think he's right about that. I think that the Majin Buu victory, because everybody else helped, it's a different feeling. Goku beating Frieza is great for Goku's character and the whole history behind it. But the Majin Buu victory, because everyone gave energy, everyone helped, including the fat Majin Buu and even Mr. Satan and Vegeta, like that felt like, okay, we're all coming together to win. And that's why I love the original Dragon Ball manga and Dragon Ball Z, because every arc has its pros and cons, and they all sort of work different and give you like different lessons, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Different themes. If you go to my channel, which you're on right now, but I mean, if you go to my videos, I did 5 videos called The Themes of Dragon Ball, and I did the themes of the Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga, Cell Saga, and Buu Saga, and I did one for OG Dragon Ball as well. So
awesome.
Check those out. Yeah, they're older videos, but they're still up. Speed Punch says, you said that Dragon Ball do not feel like Dragon Ball anymore due to it no longer finding the Dragon Ball after Frieza. Expect Daima.
I don't really know what you mean by that. Are you talking about how the fun for the Dragon Balls is what makes Dragon Ball feel like Dragon Ball? Because I only think that's partially true. Partially true because like the Tenkaichi Budokai has nothing to do with that, right?
Right.
I think that's just partially true, to be honest.
And the Dragon Balls aren't even that big of a focal point in the Cell Saga either. They're there, but they're not a focal point, you know. And in the Buu Saga, it's the same thing, that they're there, but they're not really a focal point. I think that by this point, Toriyama was knee deep in just making this an action series, that hunting for Dragon Balls kind of ended with the Namek Saga. But that is why I like Daima, Well, I don't like every episode of Daima, but the idea that Goku has to defeat a guardian to get the Dragon Balls, you're basically taking two ideas and putting them together. You've got the action combat because you have to beat a guardian, the Tamagamis, and you've got the hunt for the Dragon Balls. So Toriyama married that together. So even if you don't like Daima, though, there are things to like about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Anyways, that's going to do it for volume 27. The next time we stream for the Mangalorian will be volume 28, which begins the Android Cell saga. I don't know if we're going to be around next week because I may have a doctor's appointment. I'll let y'all know. Keep your notifications on so that you know. 23rd tournament, I think, is the most perfect art from Gabby 3006. I do too. And we covered that in the archives. So if you are just stopping by for the first time, make sure you go back and watch all the Mangalorian streams. There's a playlist there going back to volume 1. The idea behind this is we're going to cover the entire Dragon Ball manga from Pilaf, from Goku meeting Bulma to Goku hanging out with Pan and meeting Oob, the entire original story, and maybe some extras, right?
Right.
All right, y'all. We're out. Have a good one. Take care. Have a great day. Take care of yourself and each other.